Another weekend is upon us, which means a whole new slate of Premier League fixtures. Alejandro Moreno is my challenger this weekend in Premier League Predictor. Let's start off with Bournemouth-Liverpool.
How's your fantasy team doing?
Terribly.
Why is that?
Because I haven't changed it in 5 weeks.
Good managing by you. All right, Liverpool, away from home. Doesn't matter. They get 3 points.
Yep, I'm going to go with Liverpool as well. Arsenal, what a result against Manchester United. Probably thinking they should have gotten more from that match, given the state of affairs at United. Up against Huddersfield, Ale.
You sound bitter. You sound bitter about something here. Arsenal, at home.
Yep, Arsenal for shizzle, my nizzle. Burnley up against Brighton.
Wow, this is beautiful to watch. This will be entertaining. It'll be open.
Match
No,
of
it
the
won't.
day.
No, it won't. And the struggle is real for Burnley.
Absolutely real.
Draw.
Draw. Well, I mean, they did manage to break certain people's legs when they went up against Liverpool the other time around, but I have to agree with you on this one, and I'm going to go for a draw too.
Okay, you know what? I don't care.
Oh!
You know what? The
He's
ginger.
going for Burnley to get something. We don't know where
That's
they're going to
right.
buy goals from, or we'll see exactly what happens. Speaking of struggles, these two teams know those struggles all too well. Cardiff, not pretty to watch, but Southampton, they've been enjoying or not enjoying a good
The
time.
new manager bump.
That's true.
Yeah? Is that going to make a difference? I don't know. Cardiff, ugly to watch play. Ugly to watch play. This is ugly as a game. It's a draw. Don't even tune in for this one.
I'm going to go with Saints on this one, Ale. I'm going to go with the new manager, Pizzazz.
You're
call it
putting
Pizzazz.
Southampton and Pizzazz in the same sentence.
Yes.
All right, good.
So we're going to go with Saints on this one. Manchester United up against Fulham.
You talk about Pizzazz.
Or lack thereof.
Not. Manchester United, somehow they overcome their own manager bump and they beat Fulham at home.
That's true. If Manchester United fail to beat Fulham, I think it's just going to be a new low. And here's one that we know Shaka Hislop will be tuned into so keenly. West Ham up against Crystal Palace.
Is it in your contract to mention Shaka every time we do a hit?
Shaka's just my partner in crime, and I like to bully him about West Ham.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going for Crystal Palace.
Wow.
I'm just against Shaka Hislop. That's
You're
it.
just well,
it.
Ali's against Shaka, but I'm going to go with Shaka's boys just because I'm tired of seeing him cry week in, week out. Chelsea, Manchester City. Now we get juicy. Or do we?
Chelsea's been struggling. And this whole Jorginho situation, it seems like people are starting to figure out how to play against Chelsea. It's becoming an issue for them. Kante is not an attacking midfielder sort of player, even though Sarri wants him to be a box-to-box guy. That's not his role. Unless they figure that out and sort that out, I just don't see it. Manchester City, too good with the ball. They'll pass right through Chelsea. See you guys later.
Let's just move on, shall we? Manchester City for this one. Leicester City, Spurs.
I need a big weekend from Harry Kane.
Same, because I'm finally going to change my fantasy team this time now that I'm back.
No, you can't because it was a double week.
Oh, that's true.
It's all locked in.
All right, well, we're just going to move on to next week and hope for the best. Newcastle, who are hoping for the best against Wolves.
Salomon Rondon is hot.
Oh.
Jose Salomon Rondon is hot. ¡Vamos, Venezuela!
Well, you see, Ale, because you say I was siding with Shaka, you know I love me some Venezuela as well, so I'm going to go with Newcastle too. And finally, Everton-Watford.
Yeah.
I know you can't wait for this one.
Well, there are other things that I'd rather do than watch Everton and Watford, but given that we have to choose, Everton at home.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Everton at home. Why?
I don't mind Everton, actually.
I don't mind Everton either.
That's all right.
All right, so we're just going to go agree on that one. Thank you so much to Ale Moreno. See, I hope he's forgiven me because I went with Newcastle just for him and Venezuela. We're going to continue tracking everything from the Premier League right here at ESPN FC. It's the festive season now in December, so that usually means that the January transfer window is coming up. And you know we love to tackle rumors, don't we, Ali? So
we do?
A new edition of Transferator. Let us see. Edinson Cavani to leave Paris. Ooh, would that be a hit or a miss in his career?
Well, I think for Cavani, the situation is getting darker and darker.
Yep.
It's becoming more likely that he leaves than that he stays. However, I don't think it happens in January. I don't believe that that's best for Cavani or for PSG, so it doesn't quite make sense for either. I think Cavani stays at PSG.
Speaking of dark situations, that's been the theme at Manchester United for some time now, but even before, so for Matteo Darmian, would a move to Inter Milan be a hit or a miss for him?
Well, we just heard Jose Mourinho refer to Matteo Darmian as his utility player. The do-it-all guy. You know what the do-it-all guy is? The one that cannot do one thing particularly
Good
well.
enough,
Yes.
exactly.
So I'm not sure whether that's a compliment. It feels like a backhanded compliment. I still don't think that he leaves because under Jose Mourinho, there seems to be a role for him, even if he's just a utility guy. So I think he stays.
Kovacic now to Spurs. Not that far of a trip from Chelsea, but would it be a hit or a miss?
I don't see it. I still think that he will play a useful role for Chelsea, and he just got there, to be quite honest with you. So, not for me.
All right, let's talk about big people now, Ale. Zlatan Ibrahimovic had some good times, here in the United States and MLS at LA Galaxy, but would AC Milan welcome him back with open arms? Hit or a miss?
AC Milan may welcome him back. I just don't think it's the best for Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Now, he may think that he can go into Milan because we know his personality.
He does think.
Well, he does think that he's going to walk in there and, look, I'm going to resolve the issues that you may have. I don't think it's best for him. So if somebody were to get in his ear and say, Zlatan, you know what? Why don't you take this couple of months off that you have on the break for MLS, make sure that you're ready to go next season, tackle the whole season with the LA Galaxy, continue to be the player that you have been for them, and enjoy the limelight that you have in Los Angeles. How about you take advantage of that? I think it's a miss. All right. In LA.
Would this be a hit for you then? Chris Smalling to leave Manchester United. A couple of United supporters may like this idea, especially with the talks of Toby Alderweireld getting ready to go to Old Trafford next summer. But what do you think, Ale? Where does this stand with you?
I think this is so dependent upon what happens with Jose Mourinho. Obviously, Jose Mourinho is not exactly the biggest Smalling fan, and so for me it's a sense of, okay, what happens with Jose Mourinho, then sort of the other dominoes start to fall. If Jose Mourinho is fired, if he's no longer the manager of Manchester United, maybe Smalling stays. If not, I just think big picture for him is best that he goes somewhere else, as it is for many players in Manchester United or the current regime. So Chris Smalling, how about you make that decision and get on up out of here?
Oh, that's the hit, and I'm sure a lot of people would agree with you on that one. Thank you so much to Ale Moreno. We'll continue tracking all of these potential transfers to see if they do happen or not as the January transfer window approaches.
Hello and welcome to Extra Time. If you heard some talking, if you were listening on our podcast during my promotion, that was Craig and Stevie discussing the size of their plunger. Because Craig has some issues in the bathroom.
I don't have issues.
And a plumber is necessary. Trying to get a plumber has been quite a challenge for you this afternoon.
And this morning.
And this morning. Has it been going on all day?
Well, I left a few messages this morning, and somebody just called me back 5 minutes ago, and now I can't get hold of them again. So I'm going to have to do it.
If they're called during Extra Time,
no, I've got a leak in my basement.
Right.
A big leak that I've only just discovered.
Oh dear. Stevie's come around with the humidifiers.
Well, he's solved it. No, he's a solver.
You fix it, Stevie?
Oh, it's on my hands yet. Just explaining how you use
He's giving me the same
plunger.
advice as he gave me for the fence post. You know how he can cement. He can cement.
Yeah, the cement in. Was it 2 parts sand, 1 part water?
Yeah. So he's actually not right anymore. You can buy the. I told you this because I did it myself.
Right.
You don't need to bother with that now. You just get the quick drying cement in, throw the water in, bosh.
There you go.
No mixing it or anything.
Not just soccer.
No, clog toilets too.
So we're available if you're a fence post or any plumbing. I'll be around.
Why is Steve Nichols so biased towards Liverpool? It's as if they're the best team in Europe in his eyes.
Yeah, Stevie.
I know, a newspaper picked him up in
I'm
England
not
saying he was
biased.
having a go
I'm
at
just-
Klopp.
What?
Liverpool
Klopp
legend
belters.
slams Klopp's celebration was the headline, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you've just slagged him off for what he had to say after the Burnley game.
Yeah, but that doesn't count.
Why?
Oh, it's selective hearing, isn't it? Doesn't matter what you
Oh,
say.
you mean-
People just make people make their mind up, and then regardless of what you say,
That's it.
it stays the way it is.
Is a FIFA World Cup after every 2 years a good idea? Or at least something that should be considered?
Every 2 years.
Yes, that's what there's the proposal that's flapping around somewhere.
Is it?
Yes.
No.
How often's the European Championships going to be then?
I don't know what's going to happen to them. Maybe they'll just
Biff it off.
Yeah.
Who are these people?
I don't know.
Find out. See if they need some plumbing done. I'll go down there and plunge some of them in the brains.
Jules, you were telling us earlier you like this idea.
No, I don't. I never told you that. I think the World Cup is there every 4 years. It's very good the way it is.
Okay. Thoughts on Pele saying Messi is only a
You ever known a group of people in the modern day that try and run this game that are trying to...
I thought he was going to talk about plumbers.
Plunge. They try and saturate the game.
You heard it like that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're already saturating the Euros with teams. They want to saturate the World Cup with 48 teams. Now they want to saturate it even more with every 2 years. It can only be about one thing. Dosh. Money. What are you laughing at?
Well, that's what's going to cost you to get your basement fixed up.
Who will do the plunging, you or Stevie?
The thing is, I don't know how long it's been...
Well, he's not going to be doing it. You kidding?
You were giving...
He wasn't even holding it
I don't
right.
know how long it's been.
By the way,
hold it right.
did you see how he showed us how he held the brush the other day? He held the brush like that. That only tells you one thing. He's never had a brush in his hand and his leg.
Wow.
Well, I had a brush
The
in my hand.
plunger, he's like that.
I had a brush in my hand today. I was brushing my
brushing your teeth.
Like in the cartoon.
Brushing his
a
teeth.
big brush down in the basement today, in the dry bit of the basement.
A big brush.
Dry. I was cleaning up. I don't even know how long it's been wet down there because only when she went in to get the Christmas tree, because nobody ever goes in that part of it. So I'm not looking forward to this. Stevie will sort it.
I'll sort it. You're all right.
I've no fear. Stevie's here.
I've got you covered.
Jules, thoughts on Pele saying Messi is only a one-skilled player and that Messi isn't as good as Maradona or him?
Yeah, I think Pelé missed a big occasion to just shush this time.
Yeah.
You know, just don't go there. Don't go there.
I just don't quite understand why these guys who have accomplished so much in the game feel the need to then come out and say these things. We all know that Pelé was great. We all know that Maradona was great. It's just when the conversation gets around Messi, we also appreciate what he does. And there's nothing wrong with Messi being great and Maradona being great and Pelé being great. Now, to call Messi a one-skilled player, that's just nonsense.
Yeah. Who is the greatest player of all time, Craig?
Want to punch?
What?
I don't know, but I know Well, I'm not. Let's talk.
Whoa there.
Rather talk about the Ballon d'Or.
Should Chelsea sign Ibrahimovic for the rest of the season, Stevie?
No.
Why?
Well, the reason he's left Manchester United, because physically, as much as anything else, he can't handle the Premier League anymore. Otherwise, he wouldn't have left Manchester United. And Manchester United wouldn't have let him go either. So,
Well, they let him go because he had that cruciate operation. Would he not be better than Morata?
well, you'd be better than Morata at the minute. Let's be honest.
Craig's got other things on his plate.
Can Morata plunge toilets and fix
Well, I
leaks?
think right
He
now
can
you've
get
got a
round my
better
house.
chance of sorting your toilet than he is putting the ball in it.
Jules, does this make sense to you?
What, Morata fixing Craig's toilet?
What? That they're looking for another striker, that makes sense. I'm not sure Ibra is the answer to the problems they have, and also the way Sarri plays. I'm not sure Ibra again is the kind of striker that will fit well into Sarri's style of football.
Who would you rather play for? David Moyes, Louis van Gaal, or Jose Mourinho?
I'm going to answer this from the perspective of the kind of player that I was. And so, sort of a high energy, hard working sort of guy. So it would be a guy like David Moyes. Rather than Van Gaal or Mourinho. He may appreciate...
High energy?
Huh?
High energy, did you say?
Yes, I said that.
Are you suggesting that Ali was not high energy?
I'm not sure he could move that quick.
Wow. Well, that's it. Well, by
call it high energy.
Hard working. Hey, it was good enough to beat you and your team.
He said there was a lot of drag.
There was a lot of drag.
Yeah, they drag him off the flare. He hit the ground that often.
Mourinho.
That's floor, by the way.
Sorry.
Floor, yeah,
the
floor. You've been very Scottish.
Flare is very Scottish. Floor.
I would say Mourinho.
Yep.
Because he's not always been like this.
No.
For long periods he was the man to play for. Until, I suppose, Real Madrid at a point, and then Chelsea at a point in the end. But in the early days, Porto, Inter, Chelsea, he was the man to play for.
Last word on this to you, Stephen.
I'm agreeing with Craig. Mourinho in his early days.
What about now?
But right now it would be Moyes.
Oh, okay.
So no Club.
No Louis.
So you
What about
continue.
Louis van
Klopp's
Gaal?
not in the. Klopp's not in the.
You continue to hate Club.
Well, I did understand the. The three that were in the question.
Yes.
And I didn't mention Van Gaal, did I? Did I?
All right. No.
So why are you asking me then?
Just
Come on.
Well, you give
Don't
somebody
get
an
angry.
answer.
You'll
You
tell
give
what-
somebody an answer,
tell you what.
and they keep going. I mean, how many
Tell you
answers
what,
do you want?
You'll be singing later when you plunge in that toilet. Happy as a child.
That'll be high energy.
Oh, dear.
I was always happy in the building
There has to be
site.
a photo, Craig. You're going to have to tweet that out of Steve. Plunge in your toilet. Lovely. We'll be back tomorrow. It is the big one, of course. Derby d'Italia. Juventus against Inter Milan. We'll be looking ahead to that match. By the way, that game is live on ESPN2. We've got a big old show all around it.
Oh.
That starts at 2 p.m. Eastern. No question what the big game in Italy is this weekend. On Friday, it is Juventus against Inter Milan. As it stands, 11 points separate these bitter rivals. As we welcome Gab Marcotti and Mina with us as well. Mina in Turin. Before we come to you guys, just taking a look at some of the headlines. Of course, it's been the talk of the town building up to kick off. And I imagine, Mina, over the next 24 hours, the hype surrounding this match will be amped up to another level.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the game of the season for sure. It's the Derby d'Italia. It's between two of the most supported teams in Italy, and everyone's looking forward to it. You can tell that Juventus fans really want to show off their strength to Inter, who many thought would be the closest challengers for the title this season. So it's going to be super exciting. But what I think is really different, actually, is that right now there's a sense of calm over Turin, the city in general. I feel like that kind of shows you what Juventus feel at the moment. They feel they're going to go into this match. They are the superior team, whereas Inter have to prove themselves. So the pressure's actually on them.
And Gab, you take a look at it, no wonder the pressure is on them considering the points difference. Is there a real belief that Inter can get something from this game?
I think there is a belief. Look, Inter have a lot of irons in the fire right now. Obviously, they're also going to be looking ahead. They've got this huge Champions League clash coming up in midweek. But by the same token, there's some real aggro between these two teams. Inter, remember what happened last April when they last played Juventus, and the whole incident with Miralem Pjanic not getting sent off, and those 2 goals they conceded late on to go from a victory to a defeat. So I think there's a real sense that they want to go and try to set things right. But as Mina said, Juve look a class above.
Welcome to the ESPN FC 100, our list of the best players and managers in the world. We've broken down the players position by position to produce the most authoritative and comprehensive list yet. Right, for the purposes of this exercise, we've split the attacking players up, and we're going here for the slightly deeper line forwards on this particular list. The out-and-out strikers will be discussed right here at another time. But on this list, Lionel Messi at number 1, and number 1 is where he has to be on any list of footballers, I would suggest, and in probably any era.
Yeah, without doubt.
I agree.
I mean, you look at his last season, Ian, 49 goals for Barcelona. They almost went undefeated. I think probably one of the best performances, if not the best performance we've seen all season from an individual, was Messi against Spurs at Wembley. A kind of remember where you are moment. Still very much got it. Did not have the best World Cup. Still yet to score in the knockout
But
stages.
what a goal! What a goal he scored at the World Cup!
Oh,
What technique was that?
Incredible coordination. But what I would say is, let's not judge him on the World Cup, because that Argentina side, dysfunctional, top-heavy, badly coached, you can't hold anything against Messi for that.
It's a difficult environment for him, but it's just, I don't know, I think we've run out of words to describe. We've talked about him so much, so often, so long for...
Just a genius.
Exactly.
Just a genius.
And I think some on those on our list had to work really, really hard, and I include Cristiano Ronaldo in that.
But even now, I can see the Cristiano Ronaldo fan club on Twitter saying, "What are they talking about? What about our guy?"
Well, look, Ronaldo scored in 10 Champions League games in a row last year.
Another title.
Yeah, top scorer in that competition again. And did we see probably one of the most iconic Champions League moments, iconic moments of his career? against Juventus, the overhead kick, which you know he scored hundreds of goals, and that's probably the one we'll remember him by.
The one recently as well against Manchester United. I mean, what a goal! So even though he's perhaps not scoring as often, you still see those moments of magic that not many players can do that.
Yeah.
So I'm with you, but looking further down the list, I mean, you watch Mbappe week in, week out. For me, when I saw him live, this is a guy that really you look at, you think he's also like Ronaldo and Messi. He seems to be on a different level than other people around him.
Yeah, I mean, he's only 19. I think that's the one thing that is the most unbelievable, is that at 19, I don't remember Messi or Ronaldo doing the kind of stuff that Kylian Mbappe is doing right now. And he will turn 20 at the end of December. And you think there's another maybe 15 years of him, and he's just at the beginning, and yet he's already won so much, and he's already been that good and scoring all those goals and being capable of doing all those things with the ball that you just think, where is he going to stop?
He hasn't got that much ego, has he, either? He's a good lad, isn't he?
He is a very good lad. However, he has to be a bit careful because we've seen some incidents. He was dropped this season by Thomas Tuchel at PSG for being late a few times to team meetings or video sessions. And I think he would have it's a very thin line. And yes, he's an incredible talent, and he's still very young, and he still has a lot of things to learn. But he has to be quite careful in terms of attitude as well.
Youngest player to score in a World Cup final since Pele in 1958. And I think with Mbappe, I'm going to use him to make a point about another player on this list. In that, after the season he had and the World Cup he had, I was thinking, you know what, PSG, he should be the guy. He should be the one that they build their team around, not Neymar, number 6. Who
I wonder where we were going to get to that.
Missed the football from February.
Yeah, let's not forget he got injured at the end of February.
Exactly.
Okay?
He's higher up on the list than Neymar, though. Do you think Neymar shouldn't be on the list at all?
I think on the basis of this season, there are some players lower than him, like Salah, for example. Salah should be ahead of him on
Salah should be, I give you that.
44 goals, yeah.
I think as a Brazilian, watching Neymar at the World Cup was one of the most frustrating football experiences of my life. You just look at him and say, just play. Because he can, I mean, you have to remember, this guy has amazing talent. I mean, the things
He was
we saw him do
embarrassing.
at Barcelona.
The amateur dramatics were embarrassing.
It was, but you know what? I think he can move on from that. He's still quite young. That would have been a harsh lesson because he came out of the World Cup as a big joke around the world. Yeah. And we see signs now of him playing more for the team, having a slightly different attitude with his way he treats the media and other people. I think there's time for him to bounce, and there's no question that the talent he has and the ability to take a big game and take it by the scruff of the neck and stand out like he did for Barcelona so many times.
Against PSG.
That's interesting what you said there. You think Neymar has been bruised by this, he realises the bad PR and will learn from it?
Definitely, and he's got a challenge at PSG because he's got Mbappe breathing down his wing, so he has to change his attitude, and I think he will do.
I think Salah at number 7 is really
a bit low, isn't it?
Considering that he had that incredible year with Liverpool. He took Egypt back to the World Cup for the first time
since 1990.
Since 1990, exactly, in Italy. And it was a frustrating World Cup for him because of the injury that he obviously got in the Champions League final. But yeah, 7th is really low.
I also think Firmino should be ahead of Gareth Bale. I mean, Gareth Bale, one of the all-time great goals, particularly in Champions League final, that bicycle kick, unreal. But to be Firmino, his contribution to helping Salah, helping Mane be as good as they were last season was crucial. He is the tactical key in that Liverpool side, and yeah, should be higher than 9th, I would say.
So this list is clouded in controversy, just like all the other ones, and we'll have more right here with the ESPN FC 100.
Alexis Nunes here alongside Alejandro Moreno, getting our fix with La Liga Predictor, some matchups that we're going to try our hand at. Let's start off with Atletico Madrid up against Alaves.
Alaves, they've been good this season.
Yeah.
Maybe they go into Madrid and get a result, or maybe not. Atletico Madrid, they win it.
Atletico Madrid still unbeaten at home. I mean, come on. I'm going to go with
It's
it.
not a come on.
It's a come on-ish.
All right, ish. I'll take ish.
All right, let's move on to somewhat juicy matchups without
Ish.
just, I know, ish. Let's ignore their places in the table. But Valencia, we know how strong they can be at home up against Sevilla. How do you see this one going?
I actually see it as a draw, and I'm going to sit on the fence on this one, even though I don't like the fence. In fact, you know what? I don't even like the fence. I'm getting off the fence.
Oh, he's going for
Valencia
it.
at home.
Valencia at home.
And it's a team that it's uncomfortable to play against. Now, they don't score many goals. In fact, it seems like they don't score any goals. But they'll take a 0-0 draw. And I just find that Valencia may just sneak out at home. Sevilla's been playing well, but Valencia uncomfortable. I'll take Valencia.
Well, I told you before this, I have two fixtures that make me want to kind of sit on the fence, and this is one of them. So I'm going to sit on the fence in this one because I know how Valencia
I
can
took
be
a
at
position.
home.
I took a
the
position.
position, so I'm going to take a position of a draw. I'm going for the draw. Let's move on now to the Catalan derby, Espanyol up against Barcelona.
Did you just give a shoulder shake for the Catalan?
I've been salsing all week thanks to Shaka Hislop. So, Espanyol, Barcelona, we know how much Espanyol.
What does Shaka Hislop know about salsa?
Thanks. Nice to know Alejandro watches all our hits.
Okay.
But let's move on.
All right. Well, I'm just not sure that Shaka knows anything about salsa. That's okay.
He doesn't.
All right. Oh, so it's me to pick.
Yeah, you pick
Okay, I'm sorry. My bad. I was. This thing threw me off. Barcelona.
Really? Just easy like that? Even though we know how
it's-
Espanyol troubles them.
Yes,
At
they
home.
do. Yes, they do. I know it's a Catalan derby. I know. I'm all about it. I understand. But do they have Lionel Messi?
No,
What do you mean they don't?
they don't.
Barcelona.
Oh, Espanyol don't have Lionel Messi.
Barcelona.
But Barcelona do.
They don't.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take Barcelona.
And they could get Luis Suarez back as well, so...
Oh,
yeah, I'm gonna
wait a
go.
minute.
I just had to argue a little bit, Alejandro. Come on.
You didn't have to.
Finally, Huesca at the bottom of the table up against Real Madrid, who in fifth position for them feels like the bottom of the table. How do you see this one going?
Real Madrid will win. Would be unconvincing. We'll ask questions after the game. We'll ask what's going on. Santi Solari, his relationship with Isco. Is he going to play? Is he not going to play? Is Bale going to score? Is he not going to score? There will be a whole lot of talking points, and Real Madrid will win.
Took the words right out of my mouth. And then some, because that's why we pay you the big bucks. Thanks so much to Alejandro Moreno.
What?
I guess we only disagree on one, so we'll see what happens.
After all that
in
nonsense,
that one.
you
and then
agree.
we'll just go salsa dancing some more, although that wasn't really salsa dancing.
I don't know.
Anyways, continue tracking all of
Stay
La
away
Liga
from
right
that.
here at ESPN FC.
How the referee doesn't send them off is I mean, there's no excuse for it whatsoever.
Should they re-referee it? Obviously, they don't want to. Should they retrospectively charge
Yes, they should. But they won't because it'll look bad on the referee who made the decision at the time. Every referee association in the world will stand up for the referee in a situation like that because it makes the referee look bad. Forget he made the wrong decision, it just makes him look bad. So we'll just leave it alone. He made the decision and that's it.
100% he should be suspended. And oh, by the way, for no other reason, the fact that this is friendly fire. If somebody should appreciate long hair, curly hair, should be Marwan Fellaini. Come on, man.
Do you want to hear Unai Emery's quote on it all?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
What's the problem with re-refereeing the game? Because that's what VAR's going to do anyway.
Well, this is it. Right. Interesting stuff from Emery. I don't know where this goes at the end. I think the best thing is that he cuts his hair, talking about Guendouzi before the next match, and then the problem is finished, just as Fellaini did. I have not told him that to his face, though. I respect a lot of players, their hair and their hair colour.
Thank you, Unai.
Thanks, Unai, for that.
Wow.
Would you ever tell a player to cut his hair when you were coaching?
No. But I'll tell you what, if he came in with a bright, multicoloured thing on his head, you'd have a go at him. You'd try and push him towards not doing it again.
Really?
Absolutely.
I wouldn't care if he was playing well. As long as he's playing well, he can do what he wants.
But it is clear that Unai Emery has had in his mind that Guendouzi should get a haircut.
Yes.
He used the first opportunity to say, well, I haven't told him to his face, but hey, here's a barbershop.
When you bleached your hair at the World Cup, did Craig Brown mind?
His words to me were, well, you're going to have to, and I'm paraphrasing, you're going to have to play well with a haircut like that.
Yeah.
There you go, and you got sent off.
Correct.
So perfect, well done.
But I played well up to that point.
Nothing like talking about South American footballers with a South American footballer. Ale Moreno is joining me for this one. Ale, let's talk about Miguel Almiron. He's right there, of course. Not necessarily about what's coming up this weekend for him, but some comments he made where he says or has hinted that he's keen to move to the Premier League because of its more competitiveness than what you'd find in La Liga. Even though we know that South American footballers tend to gravitate to La Liga because there might suit their style more. What would you say to him?
But this is a player that thrives on his physical ability to run with the ball. He's quick without the ball, but with the ball seems even quicker. He's a guy that can generate that separation in 1v1 situations and loves the transition game, loves the back and forth. So in that regard, I understand what he's saying, because it would be more like the Premier League, that back and forth, that ability to utilize your speed to get away from defenders and then be able to impact the game in transition. That's more like the Premier League instead of La Liga, where La Liga is far more about the technical ability of the player. What I would tell him is that because his game has that nuance to it, that ability to generate separation with that sort of speed, he would actually stand out in La Liga. Whereas in the Premier League, there may be other players that look exactly like him that can do that job. Whereas in La Liga, that kid that can run with the ball and create that sort of speed and create that sort of separation is not as common. And you don't see him nearly as often. I think he's going to find, if indeed the transition is to the Premier League, is that while he does have the speed to compete, I'm not sure that he has the body strength to compete. If you've ever seen Miguel Almiron, he's a tremendous player and a tremendous talent.
Could he change that once he realizes the competition there is more?
But he's very slight in terms of his body composition.
Could beef him up.
Yeah,
couple pasties.
Maybe so. But then do you take away some of the things that he does well by doing that? And so I think he's got to be careful as to just making a decision based on sitting down and watching the games and saying, well, I can see myself there. We can all see ourselves there. The difference is that once you get to that point, once you get to that level, it may not be the same game that you thought it was. And you may not be able to take advantage of your attributes as much as you may have been able to do somewhere where those attributes are not nearly as common.
So be that unicorn. Be that something special. There you go. Well, this, of course, is stemming from the fact that he's been linked with a move to Newcastle. Just quickly, do you think that would be a good move just overall, Newcastle needing a player like this?
Newcastle need help in a player that can break people down in 1v1 situations and players that can be creative in the attack and that can do that transition quickly in attack, because it's a team that usually defends and then looks for that type of speed. So yes, Miguel Almiron can provide some help, but there's not going to be an adjustment period here. If indeed he goes to Newcastle, once he lands there, they're going to expect him to perform at a level that allows Newcastle to get points. They need every point they can get, and so therefore, Miguel Almiron, there won't be any sort of honeymoon. It's like, no, bro, you're getting off the plane, you're going in there, and we see if you can help us. If you can't, then you're going back to the bench, and we'll see who else can help us. That's the sort of club that Newcastle have become because of the need for them to get points.
All right, so a lot of questions there that he might want to think of before making these kind of moves. And Alejandro Moreno might need to be on his speed dial before he makes them.